The silver ship moved slowly through space toward the third planet. Commander Vexithara stood on the bridge and watched the blue and green world grow larger on the screen. Her long fingers touched the control panel as she smiled. After years of travel, they had finally found intelligent life. "Commander, we are getting signals from the planet," said Zilketh, her young communications officer. His blue skin glowed with excitement. "They call themselves humans," Vexithara nodded. The Catharians had been alone in space for so long. Her people were peaceful explorers who studied stars and planets. They had never found another thinking species before. This was the most important day in their history. "Send them our friendship message," she ordered. "Tell them we come in peace." On Earth, Captain Han Wu sat in the command center and stared at the strange message on his screen. The words were in perfect English, but they came from a ship near Jupiter. His hand shook as he read the alien greeting. "Sir, what should we do?" asked his aide. Han Wu picked up the red phone that connected him directly to Admiral Park Jiho on Earth. "Admiral, we have a situation." Within hours, the most powerful people on Earth gathered in a secret meeting room. Admiral Park Jiho, a thin man with gray hair, sat at the head of the table. Dr. Kim Yuna, Earth's top scientist who studied possible alien life, sat to his right. General Lee Tae-hyun, the head of Earth's military forces, sat across from her. "They want to meet," Dr. Kim Yuna said. "Their message says they want to share knowledge and be friends." General Lee Tae-hyun frowned. "It could be a trick. How do we know they are really peaceful?" "Their language is beautiful," Dr. Kim Yuna replied. "They speak about art, science, and learning. These are not the words of warriors." Admiral Park Jiho listened quietly. Then he spoke. "We will meet them, but we will be careful. The meeting will happen on the moon, not on Earth." Strategic Advisor Choi Sun-ho, a young man with sharp eyes, leaned forward. "If they wanted to hurt us, they would have done it already. Their ship is clearly more advanced than ours." 3 days later, the meeting took place in a specially built dome on the moon's surface. Vexithara and 2 other Catharians walked into the room where 5 humans waited. The aliens were tall and thin with blue skin and large, kind eyes. They moved gracefully like dancers. "Welcome," said Admiral Park Jiho. "I am Admiral Park Jiho of Earth." "I am Commander Vexithara," the alien replied. Her voice was musical and soft. "We are so happy to meet you. You are the first other intelligent species we have found." Dr. Kim Yuna stepped forward. "We have many questions about your people and your technology. And we want to learn about you," Vexithara said. "Your species is very young compared to ours, but you have done amazing things. Your art, your music, your stories, they show such passion and creativity." For 2 hours, the meeting went well. The Catharians shared pictures of their homeworld, a place of crystal cities and floating gardens. They spoke about their history of peace and learning. They had not fought a war in over 1,000 years. "We stopped fighting long ago," Vexithara explained. "War brings only pain and death. We learned to solve problems with words and wisdom." General Lee Tae-hyun asked, "What if someone attacks you? How do you defend yourselves?" Vexithara looked confused. "Why would anyone attack us? We share our knowledge freely. We help others grow and learn." The humans looked at each other. Dr. Kim Yuna found their innocence beautiful, but General Lee Tae-hyun felt worried. How could any species survive without the ability to fight? "Perhaps you could show us some of your technology," suggested Choi Sun-ho. Vexithara nodded happily. She took out a small device and pressed a button. Suddenly, the room filled with images of space. Stars and planets appeared all around them like they were floating in the universe. "This is how we map space," she said. "We can see everything within 100 light years." The humans watched in amazement. Then young Zilketh, eager to impress their new friends, said, "Show them the ship's defenses, Commander." Vexithara hesitated, but Zilketh had already pressed another button. The image changed to show their ship surrounded by a glowing energy field. Streams of bright light shot out from the ship, turning a large asteroid into dust. "These are only for clearing space debris," Vexithara said quickly. "We use them to make safe paths through asteroid fields." But the humans saw something else. They saw weapons more powerful than anything on Earth. The energy beams had destroyed a rock the size of a mountain in seconds. General Lee Tae-hyun's face went pale. Choi Sun-ho's mind raced with calculations. Even Admiral Park Jiho felt a chill of fear. These peaceful aliens had the power to destroy Earth's entire military in minutes. "Very impressive," Admiral Park Jiho said calmly. but his hands were clenched under the table. The meeting ended with promises to meet again soon. The Catharians returned to their ship, happy about making new friends. But the humans had a different reaction. Back on Earth, an emergency meeting began immediately. Colonel Nam Hyunwoo, the leader of Earth's Special Forces, slammed his fist on the table. "They have weapons that can destroy us in minutes," he said, "and they act like they are our friends. This is exactly how an invasion begins." "They seem genuinely peaceful," Dr. Kim Yuna argued. "Seem peaceful," General Lee Tae-hyun repeated. "But they have the power to wipe us out whenever they want. Can we really trust our entire species to their goodness?" Choi Sun-ho pulled up tactical analyses on his computer. "If they decided to attack us, we would have no defense, zero. Our nuclear weapons would be useless against their shields." Admiral Park Ji-ho made the decision that would change everything. "We cannot allow our species to depend on alien mercy for survival. Colonel Nam Hyunwoo, prepare Operation First Strike." "Sir," Dr. Kim Yuna stood up. "You cannot be serious. They came here in peace." "They came here with enough firepower to end human civilization," the Admiral replied coldly. "I will not let Earth become a helpless colony." 2 days later, Colonel Nam Hyunwoo led a surprise attack on the Catharian ship. Human fighters, hidden behind the moon, launched nuclear missiles and plasma bombs. The aliens, completely unprepared for war, tried desperately to defend themselves. Bexathara watched in horror as her ship exploded around her. Most of her crew died in the first few minutes. The few survivors, including herself and Zilketh, barely escaped in a damaged shuttle. As their shuttle drifted through space, Bexathara realized that everything she thought she knew about the universe was wrong. These humans did not think like her people at all. They saw friendship as weakness and peace as vulnerability. "Commander," Zilketh whispered, blood running down his face. "Why did they attack us? We offered them everything." Bexathara stared at the burning remains of her ship. "Because," she said slowly, "they are not like us at all." For the first time in her life, the peaceful Catharian commander began to understand what humans really were. And she was terrified. 3 months had passed since the attack. Bexathara floated in the damaged shuttle hidden deep inside an asteroid field. Her once beautiful blue skin was now pale and marked with scars. Only 4 other Catharians had survived with her, including young Zilketh, who had lost his left arm in the explosion. The shuttle was barely working. The life support system made strange noises and the food supplies were almost gone. Bexathara spent her days trying to fix their long-range communication device. They needed to warn their homeworld about the humans. "Commander," whispered Felana, their injured engineer. "The humans are getting closer. I can detect their ships on the scanner." Bexathara looked at the screen. 3 human ships moved slowly through the asteroid field, scanning every rock. They were hunting the survivors like animals. On Earth, Admiral Park Ji-ho stood in a new command center called Task Force Prometheus. The room was filled with screens showing space maps and alien technology. Captain Bae Minho, a cold-eyed officer, reported to the Admiral. "We have found traces of the alien shuttle in Sector 7, Captain Bae Minho said. Tactical analyst Shin Dayun believes they are hiding in the asteroid field. Shin Dayun was a brilliant young woman who could think like the enemy. She studied the alien mind the way a hunter studies prey. They are scared and hurt, she explained. They will hide where they think we cannot find them. But they also need to repair their ship, so they must be near metal-rich asteroids. How long until we find them? Admiral Park Ji-ho asked. Tracker Jang Siwon says 3 days at most, Captain Bae Minho replied. He has studied their engine emissions. He can follow their trail even through space dust. The Admiral nodded. Good. We cannot allow any aliens to escape and report back to their homeworld. Earth's location must remain secret. In a small laboratory on Earth, Dr. Kim Yuna worked late into the night. She had been secretly trying to contact the alien survivors to warn them about the human hunt. Communications specialist Oyarim helped her send coded messages into space. This is wrong, Dr. Kim Yuna said, as she typed another warning message. They came in peace and we responded with violence. Oyarim looked nervous. If they catch us helping the aliens, they will call us traitors. Maybe we are traitors, Dr. Kim Yuna replied sadly. Maybe we are betraying our own humanity by letting this happen. But their secret activities had not gone unnoticed. Admiral Park Ji-ho had assigned former peacekeeping officer Kang Jun-ho to watch Dr. Kim Yuna. Kang Junho was now a mercenary who worked for the government. His job was to stop anyone who might help the aliens. Kang Junho sat in his car outside Dr. Kim Yuna's laboratory. He spoke into his radio. Target is working late again. She has sent 17 unauthorized transmissions this week. Continue watching, came the reply. Do not act until we give the order. Meanwhile, in a secret underground facility, engineer Yoon Soman led a team working on captured alien technology. They had pieces of the destroyed Catharian ship and they were learning fast. Look at this, Yoon Soman said, holding up a strange crystal. This single piece contains more computing power than our biggest supercomputer, and we are already learning how to copy it. The human engineers worked day and night. They took apart alien devices and rebuilt them with human materials. In just 3 months, they had created new weapons that combined human aggression with alien precision. Amazing, said General Lee Tae-hyun as he watched a test of the new hybrid weapons. How long did it take the aliens to develop this technology? Based on our analysis, probably several hundred years, Yoon Soman answered. But we have done it in 12 weeks. Back in the asteroid field, Vexithara received Dr. Kim Yuna's warning messages. The human scientist was trying to tell them about the hunt, but her messages were too coded to understand clearly. Commander, Zilketh said weakly, some humans are trying to help us. No, Vexithara replied firmly. This is a trick. I have been watching their military communications. They think like warriors, not like explorers. Everything they do is part of their war strategy. Vexithara had spent months studying intercepted human transmissions. She was beginning to understand how different humans were from her people. Catharians solved problems by thinking and talking. Humans solve problems by fighting and winning. They do not just want to defeat enemies, she explained to her crew. They want to make sure those enemies can never be a threat again. Ever. The human hunt continued. Captain Bae Minho's ships moved through the asteroids like sharks through water. They found and destroyed 3 empty Catharian supply containers and 2 emergency shelters. Tracker Zhang Siwon studied every piece of evidence. They are running out of supplies, he reported. They will have to take risks soon. What kind of risks? Asked tactical analyst Shin Daeun. They will try to mine asteroids for materials to fix their ship, Zhang Siwon explained. Mining creates energy signatures we can detect from far away. Sure enough, 2 days later, the humans detected mining activity deep in the asteroid field. Vexithara had been forced to extract metals to repair their life support system. Found them, Captain Bae Minho said with satisfaction. All ships moved to intercept, but Vexithara was not just a scientist anymore. 3 months of being hunted had taught her to think like a survivor. She had set up the mining operation as a trap. When the human ships approached the mining site, they found only an automated device. The real Catharian shuttle was hidden kilometers away. Vexithara watched as the humans wasted hours searching the wrong area. They are learning to think like us, Shin Daeun observed. The alien commander is becoming a tactical thinker. Captain Bae Minho frowned. Then we will have to become better hunters. The chase continued for weeks. Each time the humans thought they had found the aliens, Vexithara managed to escape. But she was learning terrible things about her hunters. She discovered that the humans had created an entire military division just to hunt down alien survivors. They called it the Xenocide Division. The word made her cold with fear. Through intercepted communications, she learned that the humans were not just hunting her small group. They were preparing for a larger war against her entire species. They were building weapons, training soldiers, and making plans to attack the Catharian homeworld. They are not fighting us, she told her crew one night. They are fighting the idea that we exist at all. Young Zilketh, who had once been excited about meeting humans, now trembled when he heard their ships approaching. Commander, I do not understand. Why do they hate us so much? We never hurt them. Vexithara had been asking herself the same question. Through months of study, she was beginning to find an answer that terrified her. They do not hate us, she said slowly. Hate requires emotion. They see us as a problem to be solved, like a disease to be cured. The hunt continued. Captain Bae Minho's forces grew larger and more organized. They brought in specialist hunters, new detection equipment, and more powerful weapons. The human military machine was learning from every encounter. Vexithara realized that she was not just being hunted by individual humans. She was being hunted by an entire species that had evolved to survive through warfare. Every human innovation, every tactical improvement, every strategic decision, It all pointed to one terrifying truth. Humans were not just good at war. War was what they were. As her shuttle drifted through the cold darkness of space, Vexthara began to document everything she had learned. If she was going to die, at least her people would know what they were facing. But first, she had to survive long enough to send the message. Vexthara had become very good at hiding and stealing information. After 6 months of being hunted, she had learned to hack into human communication systems. What she discovered made her wish she had died with her crew in the first attack. The humans had created something called the Xenocide Division. The head of this division was a man named No Sangwook. Vexthara listened to his recorded speech to Earth's world leaders. "Fellow humans," No Sangwook said in a calm voice, "we face a simple choice. We can share the galaxy with alien species who are more advanced than us, or we can make sure we are the only intelligent species left alive. There is no middle path." The world leaders agreed with him. Every major nation on Earth was now working together to build weapons designed to kill aliens. They called it ensuring human survival. Vexthara watched through stolen security footage as Colonel Huang Minji trained human soldiers. The colonel had built exact copies of Catharian environments inside Earth's military bases. Human soldiers practiced fighting in alien gravity, alien air, and alien architecture. Learn to think like them, Colonel Huang Minji told her troops. Understand their weaknesses. Know their fears. Then use that knowledge to destroy them completely. The human soldiers were not just learning to fight Catharians. They were learning to become Catharians so they could better kill them. But the most frightening discovery came when Vexthara intercepted a mission report from Captain Lim Hanul. The humans had been tracking other Catharian escape pods that had fled from different parts of the destroyed ship. Operation Breadcrumb was successful, Captain Lim Hanul reported. We allowed the 3 aliens in Pod 7 to escape and followed them to their supply cache. We found and eliminated 17 other survivors who had been hiding there. Vexthara realized with horror that the humans had been using rescued aliens as bait. They would let some Catharians escape, follow them to other survivors, then kill everyone they found. The humans called this strategic patience. Her hands shook as she read more reports. Captain Lim Hanul had used this tactic 12 times. Over 200 Catharian survivors had been found and eliminated this way. Through the stolen communications, Vexthara heard humans talking about the war as if it was a normal part of life. Lieutenant Song Minjae gave a lecture to new recruits about human nature. War is not something we do, Song Minjae explained. War is something we are. Every human invention from fire to computers came from our need to compete and survive. Peace is just the time between wars when we prepare for the next fight. Vexthara began to study human history through their own records. She learned about thousands of years of human warfare. Humans had fought each other over land, resources, ideas, and sometimes just for the joy of fighting. Even their peaceful activities were competitive. Their sports were mock battles. Their games were about winning and losing. Their business was economic warfare. Their politics was civilized combat. No wonder they attacked us, she whispered to Zilketh. They cannot imagine any other way to exist. She discovered that human children played with toy soldiers and video games about war. Human entertainment was filled with stories about heroes who solved problems through violence. Even their love songs talked about conquering hearts and winning affection. Captain Ryu Junho gave a briefing about alien extinction protocols. He talked about wiping out entire species the way other people might discuss the weather. The biological weapons are ready for deployment, he reported. Each virus is designed for specific alien biology. We can eliminate any known alien species within 6 months of contact. What about unknown species? Asked an officer. We are preparing adaptive viruses that can modify themselves for new alien biologies, Captain Ryu Junho replied. No matter what we encounter, we will have the tools to remove it. Vexthara listened to this conversation and felt sick. The humans were not just planning to kill her people. They were planning to kill any intelligent life they might meet in the future. She hacked into Earth's educational systems and watched human children learning about their history. The teachers spoke proudly about human exploration and expansion across Earth. But when Vexthara studied the details, she saw that human expansion always meant the destruction of anything that stood in their way. Humans had driven hundreds of species extinct on their own planet. They had destroyed entire forests and poisoned rivers to get resources. They had wiped out other human groups who lived differently than they did. They call it progress, she told her remaining crew, but it is really just successful genocide. Through military communications, she learned about Operation Cleansing Light. General Seo Hyungmin was leading the preparation of a massive fleet designed to attack the Catharian homeworld. We will not make the same mistake our ancestors made with other human civilizations, General Seo Hyungmin explained to his commanders. We will not try to conquer or control the aliens. We will simply erase them. The human fleet would carry enough firepower to destroy planets. But more terrifying were the biological weapons designed by Dr. An Hyejin, the head of Earth's Psychological Warfare Division. We have studied Catharian psychology through our prisoner interrogations, Dr. An Hyejin reported. They cannot handle despair the way humans can. Our psychological weapons will break their will to resist before our physical weapons destroy their bodies. Vexthara realized that the humans had been studying her people not to understand them, but to find better ways to hurt them. Every piece of information the Catharians had shared during the peaceful meeting was now being used as a weapon. The humans had learned that Catharians valued beauty, so they designed weapons that would destroy all beautiful things first. They learned that Catharians loved their children more than their own lives, so they planned to target children first in any attack. They are not evil, Vexithara explained to Zilketh, who was crying as he listened to the intercepted transmissions. Evil implies they know they are doing wrong. They genuinely believe that destroying us is the right thing to do. She discovered that many humans actually felt sad about the need to commit genocide. Dr. Kim Yuna and others, like her, wept for the Catharians who would die, but they still supported the war because they believed human survival was more important than alien lives. They have convinced themselves that the universe is a zero-sum game, Vexithara observed. They believe that for humans to be safe, everyone else must be dead. The most frightening part was how efficiently the humans worked. In less than a year, they had gone from first contact to preparing for galactic genocide. They had reverse-engineered alien technology, trained armies, built weapons, and united their entire species around a single goal, the elimination of all non-human intelligence. Vexthara tried to find some hope in the human transmissions. She looked for signs that some humans might stop this war. But even the peaceful humans like Dr. Kim Yuna were only asking for the war to be conducted more humanely, not for it to be stopped. The human philosopher General Song Minjae gave a speech that explained everything. The universe is vast and full of resources, but it is also full of competitors. We can either share those resources and live in constant fear of stronger aliens, or we can take those resources and live in security. The choice is simple. As Vexithara listened to human communications day after day, she began to understand that humans saw the universe through the lens of endless competition. To them, peace was not the absence of war. It was total victory over all possible enemies. She started preparing her final transmission to the Catharian homeworld. But she knew it was probably too late. The human fleet was already being assembled. Operation Cleansing Light would begin soon. Her people, who had never fought a war, were about to face a species that had never stopped fighting. 8 months after the attack, Vexithara discovered the truth that changed everything she thought she knew about humans. She had been listening to old recordings from Admiral Park Jiho's private communications. What she heard made her blood freeze. The extremist attack worked perfectly, Admiral Park Jiho said in a secret meeting 3 days before Colonel Nam Hyunwoo's strike. By making it look like a rogue operation, we can justify total war while maintaining plausible deniability. Vexithara replayed the recording 5 times before she could accept what she was hearing. The surprise attack by human extremists had not been a surprise at all. It had been planned by Earth's highest military officials. She found more evidence in the communication files. General Lee Taehyun had written a strategic analysis before the first meeting. Peaceful coexistence with a superior species is impossible. We must strike first while they trust us or become their slaves forever. The humans had never intended to be friends with the Catharians. From the moment they received the alien message, they had been planning genocide. Vexithara dug deeper into the human files and discovered the work of An Hyejin, the head of Earth's Psychological Warfare Division. Dr. An Hyejin had designed elaborate deception operations to make aliens underestimate human capabilities. Recommendation: Dr. An Hee-jin had written, "Allow alien visitors to see our primitive technology and disorganized military. Let them believe we are harmless children playing with toys. This will ensure they do not see the attack coming." Everything the Catharians had observed about humans during first contact had been a lie. The humans had deliberately appeared less advanced and less organized than they really were. They had acted curious and friendly while secretly planning murder. Through Kwon Dong-yun, a human military historian, Vexthara learned about human warfare evolution. She studied thousands of years of human conflict and saw the pattern clearly. Humans did not just fight to win battles. They fought to win wars. They did not just win wars. They fought to eliminate the possibility of future wars. This meant destroying not just enemy armies but enemy populations, enemy cultures, and enemy ways of thinking. The most successful human military campaigns, Kwon Dong-yun had written, are those where the enemy ceases to exist as a people. Physical destruction of military forces is only the first step. Complete victory requires the elimination of the enemy's ability to ever fight again. Vexthara found records of what humans called pacification campaigns throughout their history. Humans would encounter other groups who lived differently, try to change them, and when that failed, simply erase them completely. The pattern was always the same: contact, evaluation, attempted control, and then total elimination when control proved impossible. She discovered the work of Im Na-yeon, a human xenopsychologist who had studied the recorded conversations from the first meeting. Dr. Im Na-yeon had analyzed every word the Catharians had spoken, looking for weaknesses to exploit. Subject species shows dangerous levels of empathy and trust, Dr. Im Na-yeon had written. They cannot conceive of deception during peaceful contact. This psychological blindness is their greatest vulnerability and our greatest advantage. The humans had studied Catharian psychology not to understand them as friends, but to understand them as victims. Through stolen military files, Vexthara watched the final preparations for Operation Cleansing Light. Fleet Admiral Go Yoonji commanded over 300 ships, each one carrying enough firepower to destroy a moon. But the ships were only part of the plan. The humans had also developed biological weapons specifically designed for Catharian physiology. They had created computer viruses that could destroy Catharian technology. They had even prepared psychological warfare broadcasts that would drive surviving Catharians insane with despair. "We are not conquering the Catharians," Fleet Admiral Go Yoonji explained to her officers. "We are removing them from existence." There is a difference, the Admiral was right. Conquest meant taking control of enemies. Removal meant making sure no enemies remained to be controlled. Vexthara studied human communications and realized that humans did not see other species as potential equals. They saw them as resources to be used, obstacles to be removed, or threats to be eliminated. Even when humans showed kindness to other species, it was the kindness of a farmer caring for livestock or a scientist studying laboratory animals. Other species existed only in relation to human needs and goals. She found a report by Major Yang So-young about the ongoing hunt for Catharian survivors. Eliminating alien witnesses is essential for operational security. We cannot allow any aliens to report human capabilities to other species before we are ready for galactic expansion. The humans were not just planning to destroy the Catharians. They were planning to use the war as practice for destroying every other intelligent species they might encounter. Vexthara discovered human research, projects designed to identify other potentially intelligent species in nearby star systems. The humans were already making lists of civilizations to destroy, even though they had not met them yet. "The galaxy is vast," wrote strategic planner Park Seong-jun, "but it is not infinite. If we eliminate potential competitors now, while we have technological advantages, we can secure human dominance for thousands of years." Through her months of study, Vexthara began to understand the fundamental difference between humans and Catharians. Her people had evolved past warfare and saw cooperation as strength. Humans had evolved through warfare and saw competition as natural law. Catharians believed the universe was abundant enough for everyone to thrive. Humans believed the universe was a competition where only one species could ultimately survive. She found a philosophical document written by Song Min-jae, the human philosopher general, that explained human thinking. Peace is not harmony between species. Peace is the absence of species capable of threatening us. True security can only come from true dominance. The most terrifying discovery was that humans genuinely believed they were doing the right thing. They felt sad about the necessity of genocide, but they never questioned whether it was really necessary. Dr. Kim Yuna, the scientist who had tried to warn Vexithara, had written in her personal diary, "I weep for the beautiful Catharian culture that must die, but I would weep more for human children, who might suffer if we showed mercy to potential enemies." Even the good humans supported genocide because they could not imagine any alternative to total dominance. As her damaged shuttle drifted through space, Vexithara finished preparing her final transmission to the Catharian homeworld. She had learned everything she needed to know about humanity. They were not evil monsters. They were perfectly evolved survivors who saw existence itself as an endless war for resources and dominance. Their concepts of honor, mercy, and ethics all existed within their warfare framework. Humans could be incredibly compassionate and noble, but only within their own species. To them, other species were either allies who served human interests, resources that could be exploited, or threats that needed to be eliminated. The transmission was almost ready, but Vexithara knew that human ships were closing in on her position. Commander Kim Minsu was leading the final search pattern that would find her within hours. She had one last chance to warn her people about what was coming. One last chance to explain that humanity's greatest strength was not their technology or their tactics. It was their complete inability to conceive of any other way to exist except through the domination and elimination of all competition. Vexithara's fingers moved quickly over the damaged communication device. She could hear human ships getting closer, their engines humming through the asteroid field. Commander Kim Minsu's voice crackled over their radio channels as he directed the final search. "Grid pattern 77 Alpha," Kim Minsu ordered his pilots. "Check every rock larger than 50 meters. The alien cannot hide much longer." The Catharian commander had perhaps 30 minutes before they found her. She worked desperately to boost her transmission signal strong enough to reach her homeworld, 70 light-years away. "Commander," whispered Zilketh weakly. He was dying from his wounds, barely conscious after 10 months in the damaged shuttle. "Will our people understand your warning?" Vexithara looked at her young communications officer. He had once been so excited about meeting humans and learning from them. Now he was dying because of human efficiency and human fear. "They will understand," she promised him, "even if they do not want to believe it." She activated the long-range transmitter and began her final message. The transmission used all of their remaining power, sending her voice across the vast darkness of space toward the Catharian homeworld. "This is Commander Vexithara of the exploration vessel Serenity's Edge," she began. "I am the last surviving officer from our mission to contact the human species. I send this warning to all Catharian people: run. Run as far and as fast as you can. The human ships were only minutes away now." Major Yang So-young led the boarding teams that would capture or kill any survivors they found. Vexithara could see their weapon signatures on her scanner. "The humans are not evil," she continued her transmission. "They are something far more dangerous than evil. They are perfectly adapted survivors who view all existence as warfare. They cannot imagine a universe where different species coexist peacefully." She paused to check her scanner. The human ships had found her shuttle. To humans, peace does not mean harmony between species. Peace means the complete absence of any species capable of threatening them. They will not be satisfied with defeating us. They will only be satisfied when we no longer exist. Commander Kim Minsu's ship moved into position above her hiding place. She could hear him speaking to his boarding team. "Remember, we need the alien commander alive for interrogation if possible. But do not take unnecessary risks," Vexithara smiled sadly. Even now, the humans were being practical and efficient. They wanted to learn from her before they killed her. "I have studied human history and psychology for 10 months, she continued her message. "Every human innovation, from their art to their technology, reflects their warrior nature. They are not a species that learned to fight. They are a species that exists through fighting." The first human boarding pod attached to her shuttle with a metallic clang. She could hear cutting tools beginning to work on her hull. Their children play war games. Their entertainment glorifies violence. Their economic system is competitive warfare. Their political system is organized conflict. Even their concepts of love and friendship are described in the language of conquest and victory. The cutting was almost finished. Soon the humans would break through her shuttle's wall. But here's the truth that terrifies me most, Vexithara said, her voice growing urgent. They are not conscious of what they are. They genuinely believe they are good people making necessary choices. They feel sadness about the need to destroy us, but they never question whether destruction is truly necessary. The human boarding team broke through. Major Yang So-young entered the shuttle with 6 armed soldiers. They moved quickly and efficiently, checking for traps or weapons. Hands visible, Major Yang So-young ordered in perfect Catharian language. The humans had learned her people's language to better hunt them. Vexithara raised her hands but continued speaking into her transmitter. They study their victims with genuine scientific curiosity. They preserve our art and culture in their museums while planning our extinction. They speak lovingly of alien civilizations after they have safely destroyed them. Step away from the communication device, Major Yang So-young commanded. One moment, Vexithara replied calmly. She had accepted her death months ago. All that mattered now was completing her message. The human fleet will reach our homeworld soon, she continued. They have weapons designed specifically for our biology. They have psychological warfare tools designed to break our minds. They have studied every weakness we revealed during peaceful contact. The human soldiers moved closer, but they did not shoot. They wanted her alive for questioning. Run, my people. Scatter across the galaxy. Never gather in large groups that can be destroyed at once. And never ever trust any species that offers you friendship after they have seen your strength. Major Yang So-young reached for the communication device. But Vexithara held up one finger, asking for a few more seconds. The humans are not monsters. They are us if we had never learned to be anything other than survivors. They are what happens when a species becomes too good at winning. She looked directly at Major Yang So-young as she spoke her final words. This is not hatred or revenge speaking. This is simply observation. The humans will kill me now efficiently and without malice because that is what they do to problems. And to them we are a problem. Vexithara released the communication device and smiled at the human soldiers. I am done. You may proceed. Major Yang So-young looked uncomfortable but did her job. The capture was quick and professional. The transmission reached the Catharian homeworld, but it arrived too late. Fleet Admiral Go Yunji's ships had already surrounded Catharian space. The human fleet included over 300 warships, biological weapon deployment vessels, and psychological warfare broadcasting stations. What followed was not a war. Wars require two sides capable of fighting. This was an extermination, conducted with the same efficiency humans had shown in their hunt for survivors. The Catharian defense forces, designed for peaceful exploration, were destroyed in the first hour. The biological weapons eliminated most of the population within 6 months. The psychological warfare broadcasts drove the survivors to despair and suicide. A year later, Captain Park Seong-jun filed a routine report with Earth Military Command. Xenological threat neutralization completed successfully. Catharian species eliminated with minimal human casualties. Recommends similar protocols for future alien contact scenarios. The report was filed alongside thousands of others. The extinction of an entire species had become a bureaucratic footnote. 5 years after first contact, Dr. Lee Ga-young presented a research paper at the International Conference on Xenological Studies. She spoke to a packed auditorium about Catharian civilization. The Catharians were a beautiful people, Dr. Lee Ga-young said, showing images of their crystal cities and floating gardens. Their art showed a profound understanding of harmony and peace. Their philosophy emphasized cooperation and mutual growth. The audience listened with genuine appreciation and sadness. It is tragic that such a wonderful culture could not survive in our hostile universe, she continued. Their peaceful nature, while admirable, left them vulnerable to the dangers of space. We can only hope that other species we encounter will be better adapted for survival. The audience nodded sympathetically. They felt real sorrow for the extinct aliens. None of them questioned why the universe had been hostile to the Catharians, but not to humanity. In the museum section dedicated to alien cultures, children walked past displays of Catharian artwork and poetry. Teachers explained how the aliens had valued beauty and wisdom above all else. Why did they die out? Asked a young student. Because they were too gentle for a dangerous galaxy, the teacher replied kindly. Only the strongest species can survive among the stars. The student nodded, accepting this explanation as natural law. It never occurred to anyone to ask who had made the galaxy dangerous for gentle species. In secret military archives, Vexithara's final transmission was studied by human strategic planners. They used her insights to improve their protocols for future alien contact. Her warnings about human nature became training materials for more efficient genocide. Admiral Park Jiho, now retired, sometimes thought about the first meeting with the Catharians. He felt genuinely sad about their fate, but he never questioned whether it could have ended differently. "The universe is vast and beautiful," he would tell his grandchildren as they looked up at the stars. "And thanks to brave humans like your grandfather, it is safe for human children to explore." The children would smile and dream of traveling to distant worlds, never knowing that those worlds had once been home to other dreamers who had wanted nothing more than friendship. Humanity expanded across the galaxy, carrying their museums and their memories of extinct alien cultures. They genuinely mourned every species they destroyed, even as they prepared to destroy the next one. And in the cold darkness between stars, empty ships drifted as monuments to civilizations that had made the mistake of being gentle in a universe ruled by survivors.